Hey, what's up, everyone? Back for this Tuesday slate. We have an 8-game slate for tonight, so let's get into it. Drop a like down below, subscribe if you have not already. Looking back at last night, man, Hartenstein got no minutes, barely got like 5 or 6 minutes, which sucked. Same thing with Chris Clemens, so kind of got D'Antoni'd last night, but is what it is. Move on to tonight. So let's get into it. Starting off here at point guard, we have Luka at 12,000. Not really interested there unless Kristaps is resting on a back-to-back. Keep an eye on that status. The main ones I'm looking at are Kemba Walker at 7,800, Devonte Graham at 74. He's just a good price point. It's a great matchup. He's had a tough stretch of matchups against Milwaukee, the Magic, against Denver. So it finally has a good matchup, and he's at home where he's played so much better this year. And then I would say that Will Barton looks fine at 66, and to keep an eye on Ricky Rubio's status. But also, John Morant is going to be one of my guys I like. He's at home, where similar to Devonte Graham, where he's played his best basketball. The Grizzlies have been playing great lately. They've been rolling. They play super fast, so even though the Nuggets play slow, this game should have a bit of a faster pace to it. And he's really cheap at just 7,000 for a guy that can get up to 32 to 34 minutes lately. And they've been giving him a lot of time, so I think he looks like a great option at his price point. At shooting guard, keep an eye on Devin Booker. If Rubio's out, Devin Booker become a great play, although he is expensive at 9,100. I think Beal looks okay as well, although the matchup is scary in terms of a blowout potential. But I like, I'm looking at Terry Rozier at 6,800. I'm looking at Jaylen Brown at 64. I love playing Dylan Brooks. Every time I play him, he seems to come through. It's another spot where I don't mind playing him just because they are kind of shorthanded right now, with Jay Crowder is doubtful and Grayson Allen is out indefinitely. So there are going to be a lot of minutes to go around for a guy like Dylan Brooks, and they have been willing to give him a lot of minutes, like 36. He got 35 against the Pelicans as of late. Since he's been playing great, they've been giving him more and more time, so I think he looks like another good option at shooting guard. At small forward, not really interested in $10,000 Ben Simmons. I think Tobias looks good if you want to get a piece of the Sixers. But right here is where I'm kind of looking at. Will Barton, Jaylen Brown, and Morris are all great prices. Out of this group, I think Brown looks great. Just 64 is really cheap for him. He didn't get the job done last game, but he played 36 minutes. He did score 20 real-life points, just didn't really get any peripherals. But Jason Tatum is doubtful again tonight, so there are going to be a lot of minutes to go around for a guy like Jaylen Brown at his price point. At power forward, I'm looking at like Deandre Ayton at 8,200. Siakam looks great as well at 8,000. Played 37 minutes last game. And I would say keep an eye on Kevin Love. He might be resting on a back-to-back. But right here is where I have a lot of interest with $6,300 Jaren Jackson, $6,200 Marcus Morris. They all look good. There's not a lot of value on the slate, so hopefully we'll get some more value throughout the day. But right now I don't mind going to Morris here. He's been playing great basketball. The minutes are 34 to 37 in close games. It's really 37 in close games. 34 was in a blowout. But he's been consistently scoring like 20 points per game. The rebounds come and go, but usually he's going to get you a handful of rebounds. And if he has an outlier game in steals and blocks, he's going to be able to put up like at least a 6x value in this spot. He does have some big-time upside because they don't really have a ton of offense on this team right now with no Barrett. So really Morris and Randall are going to be the guys that take most of the shots and score a good chunk of the points for the team. And I think Morris is much better priced than Julius Randle. I'm not interested in paying that much for Julius Randle on this slate. Like, he's 8,600. I don't think I'll get there at all on Draftkings. Over at center, I'm looking at Valanciunas, 67. You could play Al Horford if Embiid misses again. And I like Jaren Jackson a lot at 63. And then you could play Tristan Thompson or Daniel Tice as value plays. And the one punt play you could take a shot on is Marc Gasol at his price. But Jaren Jackson is another Grizzly that I like tonight. He's just really cheap. He's been playing good basketball. If he's not in foul trouble, the minutes will be like 32 to 34 for him. And he's not going to have to deal with Paul Millsap, which is a good sign. He'll deal with Jeremy Grant, who's a good defender, but he's not as good as Paul Millsap. And in terms of size, isn't nowhere near as big as Millsap. So I like Jackson at this price point. He's at home in this spot. And point per minute wise, he's been great this year. It's just been the minutes for him if he gets into foul trouble. And then last but not least, at guard here, I'm looking at Devonte Graham at 74. I just think he's just finally has a good matchup. And I like the price point on him, and I like this, at least getting some pieces of both sides of this game, I think makes some sense. So he's going to be one of the guys that I look at on the Hornets side. And then over on Fanduel here at point guard, I'm looking at Ja Morant at 71. He's also just nicely priced on both sides, easy to get to him. Other options are Kemba and Terry Rozier and Bledsoe. And if you want to pay up at point guard, it would be for Trae Young, I would say. At shooting guard, I'm looking at definitely Devin Booker's a lot more appealing here, especially if Ricky Rubio's out. Also, Devonte Graham is impossible not to ignore. I mean, it's impossible to ignore his price, 64. And Dylan Brooks are the top three that I'm looking at, but definitely Devonte Graham is just too cheap at this price. At small forward, it's Siakam at 76. Looks great on paper. Great matchup against Atlanta. Got the minutes last game. They're all healthy now, so he's not going to be able to hit his ceiling every game, but he's at a really good price, especially if he's not going to be like on a minutes limit at 30 minutes anymore. And I would say Tobias looks good, Jaylen Brown, and Morris. Just feeling a decent Marcus Morris game tonight. I think he's at a good price on both sides. There are quite a bit of options at small forward. I don't think he'll be too popular, but the minutes are definitely secure with him. And then at power forward tonight, it's Bam at his price. I like Julius Randle a lot on FanDuel at his price point, just 7,400. And then Jaren Jackson looks good. And Derek Favors at his price as well at just 5,500. But Jackson is going to be a guy that I like on both sides, just too cheap on FanDuel as well at 6,500. And then over at center, it's Deandre, Ennis, Valanciunas, and Tristan Thompson and Gasol are the four guys that I'm really looking at. If I am going to be, I don't think I will be paying up all the way at the top, but it would be for Jokic. But I think there are other spend-up options like at point guard or shooting guard. So yeah, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. You can drop a like if you enjoyed, and good luck tonight.